Let's kick things off. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling two absolutely massive pillars of information security. We're talking about keeping data undeniably authentic and, on the flip side, exposing an organization's hidden weaknesses. Whether you're gearing up for that CompTIA Security Plus exam or just looking to seriously level up your architectural knowledge, stick around. We're going to give you a razor-sharp understanding of these frameworks. Let's jump right in. Okay, let's start by thinking about a completely universal human reaction. You know the one. We've all been there, right? Someone makes a mistake, sends an email they really shouldn't have, or authorizes something by total accident, and their immediate knee-jerk reaction, whoa, it wasn't me. My account was hacked. Now, in the casual, everyday world, sure, that excuse might occasionally fly. But in the high-stakes world of digital contracts, multi-million-dollar wire transfers, and ultra-secure communications, no way. That excuse literally cannot stand. We need absolute, undeniable, verifiable proof of origin. Which brings us to Section 1, proving it with non-repudiation. Let's get into it.
So think of this concept as the ultimate digital detective's trail. Non-repudiation isn't just some fancy technical buzzword, you guys. It's fundamentally a strict legal concept that we've essentially drag and dropped right into information security. It's the absolute assurance that someone cannot deny the validity of something. A system baked with non-repudiation makes it practically impossible for a user to successfully deny who sent a message. It essentially binds an entity to an action, giving us incredible confidence in both the exact origin and the true integrity of that data.
In the practical, everyday world, the absolute most common method of providing this non-repudiation is through digital signatures. Think about closing on a house entirely online, or maybe authorizing a massive corporate wire transfer. You obviously aren't sitting there signing a piece of paper with a ballpoint pen. You're using a digital signature that legally and digitally binds you to that exact transaction. Why? Because the heavy-duty math behind that signature actively proves it was really you.
Now, under the hood, building that unbreakable trust happens in three very specific steps. First up, we use a data hash, something robust like SHA-2, to create a unique cryptographic fingerprint. And here's the crazy part. If even a single comma in a massive 100-page contract is altered, that entire hash completely breaks. Second, we need mutual authentication. Both parties absolutely must prove their identities to each other so they can share verification info safely. Only then, once that's locked down tight, can we confidently move to step 3 and mathematically verify the exact origin of the message.
But, as we all know, the internet is a deeply hostile environment. Even with those high-confident hashes doing their job, we still face serious data-in-transit threats. I'm talking about things like on-path attacks, where an attacker secretly intercepts live communications, and of course, phishing. If a bad actor successfully pulls off an on-path attack or a clever phishing campaign, they can actually tamper with the data before our non-repudiation mechanisms even have a chance to lock in. So, cryptography alone? It just isn't enough. We have to secure the whole environment, which means we actually need to zoom out and look at the entire organization.
And that leads perfectly into Section 2, bridging cyber gaps.
Now that we've looked closely at the micro level of securing single messages, let's adopt the macro-level perspective of a top-tier security architect. A gap analysis is basically your master strategic planning tool. Honestly, think of it exactly like planning a massive cross-country road trip. You might know your ultimate destination perfectly, say a highly secure, fully compliant network, but you cannot map a realistic route to get there if you don't objectively evaluate exactly where your infrastructure is parked today. So there's a very literal gap we are talking about here. On one side of the equation, you have the current state. This is the hard reality of your network today. The warts, the hidden vulnerabilities, the weird legacy misconfigurations, you name it, all of it. On the exact opposite side, you have the desired state. This is usually defined by a predetermined strict standard or a recognized set of industry best practices. The empty space floating between those two, that is your gap. A proper evaluation highlights the exact areas where the organization's cybersecurity measures are currently falling flat, effectively replacing pure guesswork with cold, hard data. When assessing these gaps, an organization has to look completely across their environment, seriously, leaving no stone unturned. Technology and software gaps are pretty obvious, things like heavily outdated operating systems or unpatched servers. But personnel training and policy enforcement, those are just as critical, if not more so. You could literally have the best military-grade encryption in the entire world, but if your accounting staff can't spot a basic phishing email, well, that is a massive security gap. Identifying weaknesses means we absolutely have to look at the humans and the company rules just as closely as we look at the blinking hardware.
Moving right along to Section 3, your next security steps. Look, just identifying problems, that's really only half the battle. Once you've mapped out those vulnerabilities, you have to actually take decisive action. There's a core philosophy here to remember. Performing regular gap analyses is critical to maintaining an up-to-date, effective security infrastructure. See, security is never, ever static. You don't just do an analysis once, check a box, and toss the binder on a dusty shelf. Your desired state keeps moving further away as new tech emerges, and your current state degrades day by day as brand new vulnerabilities are discovered in the wild. Regular, ongoing evaluations are quite literally your only way forward.
Well, we've covered a whole lot of ground in this explainer today, haven't we? From the unbreakable hardcore mathematical trust of non-repudiation, all the way to the strategic organizational oversight of gap analysis. And when you think about it, both of these concepts are fundamentally about knowing the truth, the objective truth of exactly who sent a file, and the harsh truth of how secure your network actually is today. So I'll leave you with this final thought to really chew on as you step into the shoes of a modern cybersecurity professional. Are you actively evaluating your environment right now, or are you just sitting back and waiting for an attacker to do the gap analysis for you? Stay curious, keep analyzing those gaps, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.